Hello and welcome. I'm Timothy Avant, and I'm here with the Haitian American Museum of Chicago. Here at the Haitian American Museum of Chicago, our address is 4654 North Racine, Chicago 60640. Phone number 773-213-1869. Today we're here with Dr. Pierre-Louis. Dr. Louis, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm from Haiti, in the Caribbean, and I've been in Chicago now, in the United States, for quite some time.
Okay. And what type of physician?
I'm actually a neurologist,
Okay.
Specialized in epilepsy.
Epilepsy.
So it's all about the brain.
Okay. Cool. Great. Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about immigration. Can you explain to me, can we talk a little bit about how do you feel the way immigration is handled locally and nationally right now here in Chicago?
Well, I think it's unfortunate what the whole notion of immigrants and immigrations, what they are going through right now at the national level with all the political side to it. I think this is, in a way, a distraction from looking at what are the challenges that immigrants are facing and what they can actually bring to society. So I'm hoping that things will settle very soon so we can start addressing those other important aspects.
And speaking of that, can we talk about how our viewers can alleviate the fears of people who think immigration is a bad thing? Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, I think every time you have somebody who is new, a new face, a new culture, a new language, there is always that reaction of fear because this is the unknown.
Right.
You don't know who the person is and what the person is thinking. You don't know what to expect. We are always more comfortable with people who are like us,
right, from
the same place, the same culture.
People are afraid of what they don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. However, that is unfortunate because, again, if we are not careful, that keeps us from actually enjoying what a different culture can bring, a different language, a different religion. And so we need to pause and actually start looking at all the positive sides of immigration and enjoy actually what different people can
and what it can bring. Exactly. What are your thoughts on the vetting process?
Well, I think it's important when people are coming from abroad to know who they are and what they are bringing, and that has always existed, and I think it's a good thing. You need to make sure that there is no contagious diseases that are being introduced from another place, and that's a normal thing to do. What we should avoid is to push this to an extreme that is keeping people away, or not to do it in a fair way where everybody goes through the same vetting process. That the process should not reflect our personal biases or stereotype thinking. So we just have to be careful, but it has to be done.
Okay. How do you? I know this question is going to be interesting. How do you feel about the travel ban right now? How do you feel like it's being handled?
I'm not sure what the purpose was there, but I think we have to be careful unless there is an actual major emergency. If you take, for example, the Ebola crisis, where there is a disease, where there is no treatment for it, and we don't know all the details of how it can be transmitted. We don't know how to contain it. In a case like this, there is a sense of a national emergency, even a world emergency, where you have to be careful until you learn more about the disease. You want to keep people away while you are learning more. But outside of those extreme situations, I think one has to be very careful how you approach.
Okay, and now let's talk about the two projects you're working on right now. Can you explain these projects to us?
Well, I've been part of two organizations and in Chicago. One of them is an association of Haitian physicians where we learn about the health problems of Haitians in the community, where we also do health fairs on a regular basis. We go to Haitian churches together with nurses, where we have a dialogue with the community. And this is something we enjoy a lot. We discuss specific diseases that we know are common within the community. And we hear the opinions of the people who are there in the audience and how they deal with those diseases. What is their view of their relationship with physicians when they go and see a physician, for example. And then we offer them brief personal consultations where we can answer specific questions.
Okay.
So that's one group I've been involved in. And we are a national organization called the Association of Haitian Physicians Abroad, or AMHE, the French abbreviation of it. And we are glad to offer that kind of service to the Haitian community. We have several chapters in different cities, like in New York, New Jersey, Florida, Montreal, Canada, and smaller chapters like in Chicago. And so that's kind of what we do within that organization. I'm part of another organization.
Elaborate much.
Which is called the DuSable Heritage Association.
Okay.
And this is an association that we created so that we can promote the legacy of the founder of Chicago.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah, we need more of that.
And the founder of Chicago is Jean-Baptiste DuSable. And we are told that he came from Saint-Marc, the central part of Haiti, and migrated to New Orleans. From there, went up the Mississippi River and ended up in the area that we now call Chicago. Yeah. And he married a Native American and had 2 children. And he was a very successful businessman. And because he was so successful with a fur trading post that he had at the junction of the Chicago River and Lake Michigan, he attracted other pioneers coming from Quebec, from Canada. And this is how Chicago got started, actually. Right. So this is a story that we are very happy to talk about and educate young people about it, so we can follow the spirit of a pioneer that DuSable had showed there. So every year we do have an event. We have a gala where we all get together and celebrate his spirit. We have program of scholarship to students in the name of DuSable. And so this year we're going to have our event on the Saturday, the 4th of March. It's going to be at the Hyatt Hotel McCormick Place near the Convention Center.
And what's the phone number or email where they can reach that? Is it on here?
Yes, all the information is there on this flyer that you are seeing on the screen. And we can be contacted there if anybody is interested in joining us. Our special honorary award recipient is going to be the Consul General of Haiti.
Oh, great.
Leslie Condé. So it's going to be a fun evening with a live band and food and music and dancing. So we're looking forward to that. While people are learning about the founder of the city, they are having fun.
Right. If to go back to immigration, if you were to suggest a change in the way immigration is handled right now, nationally, locally, nationally, and globally, how would you change it?
Well, I think the first thing is not to try to demonize immigrants. Just because somebody is coming from another place doesn't mean the person is bad. Right. So that's the first thing. We need to change our whole psyche about who an immigrant is and how to receive immigrants. So immigrants can bring a lot of energy, a lot of new ideas to a society. They bring knowledge, they bring experience. So they bring to us, our families and our children, a lot of things that we may not have before they arrive. And we just have to learn how to recognize those things and benefit from them. So that's the first thing I would say, is to change the perspective and keep an open mind whenever we are talking about immigrant, and make sure we benefit of all the positive things that they bring to us. And then the second thing is we really need to start teaching our children that whole idea that it is okay to open up to people with a different appearance, with a different way of seeing the world. And it's okay. It's not necessarily a threat just because somebody has a different religion or a different set of beliefs.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean I'm going to disappear
Right.
and I'm going to die from being in contact with that person.
Right.
So I think we need to change that frame of mind, and then make sure we educate our children the right way.
Speaking of education, you said earlier we were talking, and you said you studied in Cleveland. What were you doing in Cleveland? What were you doing in Cleveland?
Well, I went to medical school in my country. Then when I first came to the United States, I was in Albany, New York, where I started my training. Then I went to Cleveland, Ohio, where I had more training. And then I came to Chicago to finish my training. And some people say, for some reason, I've been always in the snow belt.
Yeah, I'm from
somebody who came from a hot country like Haiti. I always ended up where there was snowstorm and 40 degrees below zero in the winter. And so all my life in the United States, that's where I've been. And to tell you frankly, I've been enjoying it. So I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I'd rather have this today. Exactly. So what year did you decide to come to the United States? What was that?
It was around, you mean why did I?
When and why, yeah.
Yeah, it was around 1980. And at the time, I felt that I needed to acquire more knowledge. So my plan was to come to the United States and train in general medicine. Then after that, specialize in cardiology, where you take care of heart diseases, and then go back to my country. But things took a completely different turn. Every time I finished part of my training and I called back home and say, okay, I'm done, I'm coming back, my family started screaming and said, no,
yeah, stay where you are.
It's not the time because we're having this problem right now. Stay another year, stay a couple more years where you are.
Yeah.
And before I realized it, that's it. I became part of American life.
Yeah.
And it became much more difficult to decide after that.
Yeah, to go back, to
live.
Yeah. Right. You're a perfect example. I mean, we may touch on it. We remember we tapped on this earlier, but you're a perfect example of how being an immigrant contribute to society. What would you say to our viewers that how an immigrant can contribute to our society? What can you say?
Oh, absolutely. You're right. You're right. I came from a completely different place, and with a different set of ideas, different background, different culture. And yes, I can tell you, it's been my personal experience, the joy that I have had to bring new ideas and a new way of seeing things, and to the people that I was meeting in each of those towns that I've lived in the United States. And it's been a very enriching experience, because with each of these contacts, I was learning from people, but also I was exchanging my experience and my knowledge with them, and I think both sides grew out of that. And so it's been a very positive experience. All along.
Great. Now, to go back to the next gala, the next one is March 4th, yes?
Yes, we're having our gala on Saturday, March the 4th.
Okay.
And by the way, do you know what March 4th is?
No.
Well, actually, the city of Chicago was incorporated on March 4th.
Oh, really?
Yes, I believe 1837, if my memory serves me well. And so therefore, over 10 years ago, the city of Chicago passed an ordinance declaring March 4th DuSable Day in honor of Jean-Baptiste DuSable. So therefore, every year we've been having events around that date of 4th of March to celebrate, the birth of Chicago by celebrating DuSable.
Oh, great. I don't need more questions for you. These are more questions. Well, I guess because I'm wrapping it up here, it's perfect. So to get back to where can we get more information here? The next gala will be March 4th in the Hyatt Regency. You can find information on, the email is DuSableHeritage 2002 Also, the phone number is 314.
No, I think you're getting the wrong number.
Oh.
I can give you a number
please do.
where the people can call me at 312-420-0144.
Great.
So 312-420-0144, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that people may have. I see that you have the number of the Haitian American Museum of Chicago as well on the screen, and if people were to call the museum, then the museum certainly will be able to give them information on how to reach us and perhaps about the gala as well.
Great. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for having it. Thank you for coming to have a meeting with us to talk about immigration and about everything's going on with your new projects. Thank you very much. Pleasure to meet you.
It was a pleasure, and it's. I congratulate you on the fact that you have chosen this topic. It is so appropriate.
It's very important right now.
Nowadays, and I think it's something that we should always be talking about. There should always be a dialogue between people who are in a place and new people arriving.
Mm-hmm.
And however, the fact that this year this is so much in the news, I think your program is an excellent one. Featuring immigrants, giving them a chance to talk about their experience.
Because right now it's important. Everyone's talking about it. It needs to be talked about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I wish you good luck in your program. I hope you're going to continue to do that, to invite different immigrants to come to your program and discuss different aspects. For example, this evening, we didn't have time to touch at all about the challenges. Do you have any idea what it takes? When you decide to leave your land, whether there is a local war or a disease, to make the decision to leave, you leaving your friends, your family, a place that you grew up with, that is that part of you, it is your past.
Let's talk about it.
You have to leave all that and go somewhere and start from scratch.
Yeah.
You have to make new friends. You have to learn a new language, a new environment, a new culture, and face new religions. So immigrants, they make a lot of sacrifices to go somewhere else. And I think that has to be taken into account and that has to be respected. And so immigrants are not always that bad thing. And, you know, those are people who have to make big sacrifices and make serious decisions about their life. And I think that should be respected. When in addition to that, people are fleeing war, a war that they are not responsible for, that they didn't cause. We really need to take that into consideration as well and make sure that we have a place where we can receive and welcome them.
I'm wondering here in Chicago, I wonder, do we welcome immigrants as much as the media makes us out to seem that we are? I don't really know how that works here. I'm looking at the news and it doesn't look like that we're inviting and being more inviting to immigrants here in Chicago, because lots of them are being detained still from the travel ban.
Well, actually, Chicago is one of the places, as you know, they have declared themselves a sanctuary city, which can come with some penalties nowadays. And Chicago in the Midwest is perhaps the place that is the most cosmopolitan, with a lot of immigrants living here. So I think it's a place where immigrants can flourish. Of course, Chicago has its sets of problems as well that need to be addressed. But when it comes to immigration, I think Chicago has been in the forefront as far as how to welcome people. Chicago has a whole set of programs with sister cities with a lot of other places in the world as well. So I think they've had a positive attitude toward immigrants.
Thank you for elaborating on that. All right. So once again, this is Timothy Avant here with the Haitian American Museum of Chicago. You can reach us at www.hammock.org, that's HAMOC.org, or call us at 773-213-1869.